I'll be taking your questions in just a moment. First, let's watch this video together.
Hey there. What you're about to see is the original version of Spirit Science 2, Chakras. We're re-uploading it today because in the last several months, the video was made unavailable due to a copyrighted song that we used back in the day. But before we begin, we'd like to give you a little heads up about some of our other projects behind the scenes. We're still publishing plenty of history movie. Now that's all we can say about know the universe and enjoy this original episode of Spirit Science 2, Chakras. Man, know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe and God. Hi there, welcome back. As we touched upon in lesson 1, the world right now is in an incredible...
Wrong video. Sorry.
The religion of the future will be a cosmic religion. It should transcend personal...
Is this the one? Yeah.
God and avoid dogma and theology. Can you feel it? A sort of anticipation growing stronger and stronger? Another way of putting it is time is speeding up. We've heard that discussion for a while now. I know many people are feeling it, whether it happens while observing world events or perhaps through personal experiences in their own lives. Something big is happening. You can see signs of it all over the world. Technology is rapidly transforming the way that we live our lives. Information of literally every variety is available to us at the touch of a button. We are seeing huge debates and conversations taking place about all manner of subjects, from equality to major global issues. New cryptocurrencies appear to be on the brink of changing the way that we interface with finances and wealth. And while all the while we keep seeing warnings from scientists about global warming and overpopulation, which if things reach some sort of dangerous climax, it has the potential to catapult us into a different way of life very quickly. And with all of these changes, we are actively in the process of discovering something amazing. We are remembering who we are. This revolutionary discovery is what will transform life on Earth into something completely different, something incredible and beautiful, aligned harmoniously with nature. So many people across the globe are learning about this, and by applying what they've learned to their lives, have come to witness marvelous changes. Some have been so impacted that they've dedicated their lives to sharing what they've learned with the world. Personally, I'm someone who's still exploring it, and I want more people to talk about it with. Mind, body, spirit. This is the sacred trinity behind life on Earth. Without even one of these three, we could not function properly. And yet, in today's world, we really only understand two of the three. We have scientifically mapped the brain and have a fairly comprehensive understanding of the body. We understand so much about each of these, yet what do we really know about the spirit, the soul? What is it? Where does it come from? For centuries, religions have been the primary source for answers pertaining to the soul, but they're not concrete. Each religion has its own answers about how things work on the spiritual level. Yet, as we've touched on, with so much information available to us and many ancient discoveries continuing to redefine our history, there are many people now recognizing the common threads between all of these religions and putting the pieces together along with modern science, which is skyrocketing our understanding further and further into an amazing new world of freedom and delight. For a long time, these incredible insights went largely unnoticed by the global community. And while governments and secret services of the world acknowledged them, it wasn't something that really got to the masses. Yet today, the world is waking up. Today, this information is freely available to all of us, and I'm gonna share it with you. Have you ever had a moment where you knew exactly what someone was going to say 2 or 3 seconds before they even started talking? Do you have a shared connection between a loved one or a pet where you can always tell exactly what the other was feeling or what they're thinking of even when they're not really around? What about that curious feeling like you were being watched, only to turn around to see, yak! Yeah, just like that. We've all had experiences like these, at least a few times, some many more than others. There are even a few people who can tap into this experience quite easily. And while generally they're written off as being crazy, maybe we've been mistaken. Perhaps there's genuine validity to the idea of psychic. In the world of science, what do we really know about consciousness? We don't really know what consciousness is or how it works. This is what is sometimes called the hard problem because there's no obvious explanation for why we should be conscious at all. And it's because of this reason that consciousness studies is one of the most exciting frontier areas of science today. For a long time, scientists believed that thoughts resided purely in the brain, and that was the end of the story. Today, however, we understand a lot more, and there are several individuals and their teams I'd love to give special commendations towards. The first scientist is a man named Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, PhD. This man has compiled a number of powerful and thought-provoking experiments which change the way that we look at and understand our minds. From his work and experiments, he puts forth the idea that the mind is not isolated inside the head at all, but extends out into the world around us as a morphogenetic field. One thing I love about this man is that he used very practical and common experiences that many of us go through on a daily basis and turned them into a wide array of powerful scientific experiments. In one particular experiment, they demonstrated the connection between dogs and humans by monitoring the behavior of the dog when the person was out of the house. And the dogs would repeatedly show behavior of waiting by the door for their human buddy as early as when the person even had the intention to go home, even from long distances away. Skeptics are often quick to respond that the dogs are used to hearing familiar car sounds, or they know generally what time their human comes home at. And so Dr. Sheldrick ran the experiments using unfamiliar cars and random and unusual times for the individuals to go home, which still yielded the same results, having the dogs wait by the door the moment that the person sets the intention to return. Dr. Sheldrick also did a number of experiments which he described as telephone telepathy, in which people would randomly call a participant and the person on the receiving end would have to guess who is calling them out of a list of possible callers. The results of this study showed a rather high level of intuition for most people, who were able to guess who was calling at a rather high rate than you would expect if it was purely random guessing. This experiment was also taken further with the sense of being stared at, where he proved that people were able to intuitively know whether or not they were being watched, with stunning results as well. Using this morphogenetic field theory, we are able to explain how herd animals move together as if they were a single unit. Dr. Sheldrick explains this by suggesting that each animal in the herd acts a bit like they were their own magnet, emitting its own unique signal into the field. But as they all come together, much like magnets, they link together to form a singular, larger field. What Dr. Sheldrick concludes through his publications and presentations is that the cosmos is not a lifeless mechanism that we have essentially believed since the 17th century, but an organic living system which is designed to evolve and grow, just as we experience in our own lives. I think my favorite line of his is that in response to people who suggest this phenomenon is paranormal and whatnot, he simply says, "It's not paranormal, it's normal. It's not supernatural, it's natural." In the comments below, you can find links to Dr. Sheldrick's presentation that he gave at Google in 2008, as well as one to an interview he did in 2016. And there are several wonderful Gaia presentations featuring his work as well that we'd love for you to check out. The next scientist I want to share with you is Dr. Dinar RV, PhD, and his team at the Institute of Noetic Sciences. These amazing people have created a most compelling experiment where they demonstrated that using nothing but meditative thought, you can affect the outcome of an experiment from the other side of the planet in real time. Dr. Radin's talk begins by him describing that almost all of the fathers of quantum mechanics have described that something extra physical must be involved in the measurement chain of an experiment. And by this, they referred to consciousness, something outside of what we know as material reality. He then goes on to explain that they built a very simple double slit experiment. Most of you are probably familiar with the double slit experiment, but the simple version is that this is an experiment which shoots photons through two slits, making a pattern appear on the receiver past the slit openings. The thing about this experiment that has mystified scientists for years is that if you don't observe the experiment, the photons seem to shoot through both slits and act as a waveform, giving you a unique wave pattern in the results. However, if you actively observe the photons as they're going through the hole, the photons change their function and act more as if they were solid objects, and either go through one hole or the other, giving you a pattern on the receiving end simply as two slits, as you might expect if you were shooting a tiny BB gun through the holes. Now, what Dr. Radin and his team did was take this experiment to the next level by taking meditators outside of the room and away from the double slit machine to focus on the experiment taking place and see if they can, using nothing but their thoughts, intentions, and consciousness, affect the outcome of the experiment. The results of this experiment were so phenomenal and conclusive that they received a 5 sigma result, which in science terms essentially means that there is only a 1 in 3.5 million chance that the positive results they received were due to statistical fluctuations over the spectrum of the experiments performed. Because of these tremendous results, the Noetic Sciences team put their experiment on the internet to really put it to the test. And between January 2012 and December of 2014, they received thousands of sessions from around the world. Once again, they received compelling results of an individual's ability to affect the outcome of an experiment irrespective of distance. People did this from across the globe and still affected the experiment's results in real time simply by the power of their meditation. Further, we should mention that these guys were incredibly thorough in their experiments, taking account of a wide array of possibilities that might be affecting the outcome of the experiment. Dr. Radin also presents towards the end of his talk that they are not the only ones who have demonstrated this, and he pulls out a number of past experiments that have been done throughout the last several decades that have come to the same conclusions, but of course didn't receive much respect from the global scientific community. He explains that this is likely because most of science so far is based on a materialistic paradigm, and that if we add consciousness to the base in our model of the universe, as long as we can figure out the bridge between consciousness and physics, we don't have to throw out our old information, but rather just continue to add to it and develop our understanding as we always have done. If you're curious about all of the details, I highly recommend watching the full presentation on YouTube, and we'll include links to this in the comments below. What Dean and his team essentially concluded was that it's not so much that consciousness just collapses the wave function, but rather that consciousness steers the outcome of the experiment. Observational effect is an active experience rather than passive. Further, the role of consciousness in the physical world can be tested. It has been tested many times and in many ways, and the results of these experiments suggest that consciousness is an active participant in reality. Now, these experiments largely have to do with thought, feeling, and intention. But as we discussed earlier, what about the soul? Well, this is very interesting because in a book called The Field by Lynn McTaggart, she shares with us the work of a man named Dr. Fritz Albert Popp, PhD. This man and his researchers have conducted experiments that confirms the existence of biophotons. These particles of light with no mass transmit information within and between cells inside of us. His work shows that DNA in a living cell stores and releases photons, creating biophotonic emissions that may hold the keys to illnesses and health. Over the years, Popp has published 8 books and more than 150 scientific journal articles and studies which address many questions of theoretical physics, biology, complementary medicine, and biophotons. There's some great articles and videos to check out about his work, and we'll post some links to those in the comments below as well. Dr. Popp's work is especially interesting because it describes that at our most fundamental level, we are beings of light. This goes back to a number of ancient spiritual traditions and teachings who explain that we are all created beings of light, whole and complete, but have forgotten who we are. And that by our process of remembering, we can actively increase the amount of light that our DNA is emitting and raise our consciousness to a point that we may experience what is called ascension. The rising into a new way of life and a new world of possibilities opens to us, free of suffering. This is what is described by the card, the child in Patch Tarot, which fuses the 0 and the 1 together, showing the connection between the masculine and the feminine within us, the harmony between the heart and the mind in perfect balance to create the phi ratio, and speaks to the limitless possibilities that are available to us when we live from this enlightened place. Now, with all of this research out of the way, let's bring things down to a practical level for all of us. Let's say for the sake of discussion that when you think of something, anything, it appears right in front of you. No, not physically, but let's say it appears in a different realm, one that is in and around all of us, the field that the scientists were describing by their experiments. We can call it the field, the astral realm, the thought realm, whatever you like. For the sake of simplicity, in this video, let's call it the field. When you're doing something, you start by thinking about it. Whether you're building a pool in your backyard or making a sandwich, you have to have thought of it first. Even the subconscious thoughts for things like walking and breathing. This shouldn't be anything new to us. We think of things before we do them, even if it's a split second before the action. This is just how we function, and the physical actions we take generally match the thoughts that we've created in our minds. You might say that we move through our thoughts, turning non-physical thoughts into physical actions. When an inventor gets an idea, this idea can quickly move through all of his colleagues and friends, and this is because ideas and thoughts are spreadable. Multiple people can concentrate upon the same idea at once, allowing the ideas to grow and develop further. This isn't anything strange. Think tanks have existed long into our history. In this scenario, don't think of thoughts as separate, but as a whole that everyone is focusing upon at the same time, and maybe even through time itself. Of course, because we can't physically see this realm of thoughts, we have to use functions like speech and body language in order to communicate them. At least for now, this is how we connect and bridge our thoughts together, through communication. Because of this, we add a bit of our own creation to the mix every time we share something, our own spice, if you will, while still working towards the same common goal. A social gathering is another good example of this at work too. People gather together because they share the same thoughts and emotions as the rest of the people there. Even if you're using something that someone else made, which, let's face it, basically every aspect of our lives involves using something that someone else or nature itself produced, you're still creating your own experience for yourself. You manifested that iPad, house, relationship, or whatever into your experiences. With the notion that thoughts connect with other thoughts comes our first big realization. This new understanding of just how intertwined we really are. We are not only connected in the physical realm, but mentally and spiritually as well. Up until recently, humankind has always understood that they were connected only through their physical being. We assumed that the conscious experience and all of the thinking was totally 100% isolated from everyone else. The fact is, we're not. We are so connected with each other, it's almost impossible to believe. But it's true. We have the science to back it up. Now, thoughts being created are just the tip of the iceberg. The real interesting part comes when you look at emotions. Emotions are much more powerful than thoughts in that they have more gravity. Emotions pull on you. They often control your actions and guide you throughout your life. It's not always your thoughts that decide where you sit in a classroom or on a bus, but rather if you like that girl or you think that guy smells. When a couple is together, it's their emotions that keep them tethered. If they're fighting, it's their emotions that break them apart. You watch TV or movies that stimulates and compels you on an emotional level. You hang out with friends because you have emotional bonds with them. And now this applies on a smaller scale too. Do you ever have a morning where you wake up grumpy and stub your toe getting up and just think, this is just gonna be one of those days. And then the entire day following is terrible and just everything goes wrong? What about days where you wake up excited and happy and ready to go? Your whole day is just excellent in all of the right ways. Even if something bad does happen, you're less affected by it because you're in such a great place emotionally. The reason for these different potentials in how your day goes is due to your emotional state. And to that end, if you wake up in the morning and just take a deep breath and say a prayer of gratitude for your life and the dawning of a new day, it will instantaneously align you with a more harmonious day for yourself. Even if something bad does happen, you can experience it as an opportunity for learning and growth rather than something that, sucks, poo, now I'm in a bad mood, grr. You see, it's through our conscious participation in our own lives that transforms us from riding on the waves of other people's joys and sorrows to creating our own waves and living the life we want to have. You can look into society and see how we create our lives actively by the way that people speak and act. Those who are the most successful are those who talk most of success, and the people who speak most of illness have that. Yes, illness is also a creation of ours. If we have a low immune system, it's because of our own low vibration, which is a product of the disharmony both within us and in our environment. It also relates heavily with food, the primary nourishment that we put in our bodies. Food is a massive conversation on its own, and you can learn more about it in our food series, episode 33. We can liken healing with healthy food to healing from mental and emotional struggles. What quality of thoughts are you allowing into your heart and mind? In this way, healing is a simple process of going inside and addressing our own negativity, resolving the traumas, releasing the pent-up emotional energy, and making room for more light to come through. That said, one of the best and easiest ways that we've found to do this is with shamanic plant medicine, and you can learn more about that in my testimony, The Transformation of Jordan River. There's one thing that becomes apparent with this new understanding. We create our reality. We may not always be 100% in control of what happens to us. However, we are 100% responsible for what we do with the experiences that we've had, and we are especially responsible for our own healing of the bad experiences too. Throughout history, we have always played the blame game. It's his fault I didn't get the promotion. It's her fault I couldn't go to the game. It's everyone else's fault I'm so depressed. Whatever it is, and this might be the hardest part to truly get, it's you. All of it is within you. Your happiness, your sadness, your fears, and your fortunes. Every single experience of your life on earth was because of you, for you, and within you. Remember, just as you are creating your own individual reality, we are all co-creating our realities together. We are one species, and as a species, we are creating the realities that we are experiencing as a collective. One argument I hear a lot is, well, what about the starving kids in Africa? How are they creating their starving reality? I would respond to that by suggesting that it's a part of the bigger picture, and that if we can see the bigger picture, we can bring love and support to those in need if we have more abundance than them. This applies through all levels. As a family, you create your reality, and your actions will change what the family experiences. Likewise for a community and a city and a country. Because of this, and because we are not in tune with ourselves, it may often seem like we do not have complete control over what we experience. Sometimes we are seemingly forced into scenarios that are outside of our control. This happens as a result of our collective disharmony and lack of connections to ourselves and our environments. When we become more in tune with what's in our hearts, we can feel out certain scenarios and decide if that's a path we want to take. Maybe I won't go into that dark alley. Maybe it feels right to not take that job. Beyond that, even if you do have an experience that you feel is outside of your control, now it's your turn to decide what you do next. You can allow the experience to get the best of you and drain your energy, or you can decide to take it for what it is, experience it, and keep moving forward, keep growing, keep learning. Every dark cloud has a silver lining, and if you're looking for that silver lining, you'll have a much easier time finding it. Many of us have heard of this thing called the law of attraction, which talks about something similar to this. Across the entire world, people have written in to tell of their amazing stories where they really focused on meeting their heart's desire and then received it through some miracle or synchronicity. This is but a small piece in the vast ocean of the internal world that we're talking about, and it is incredibly real, and you can literally change everything in your life by the power that's inside of you. I know this from my own personal experiences, and it's not hard to find others who have too. One continuous argument I hear from people who deny this whole thing is something like, you don't just think things and change everything by sitting on your butt. To which I reply, exactly. You never stop moving. Change your mindset and continue on with your life. Cultivate your emotions, focus your thoughts, and move into them physically. Don't let your emotions control you. Pull your thoughts into the physical realm. What can you do to change things? Honestly, just start by being good to yourself. Fill yourself up with the emotion of gratitude for even the smallest things and let it fill you to overflowing. Don't forget to treat yourself once in a while and try to change your perception of your life from what others think is best for you to what you think is best for you. Take a few minutes to sit down and really ask yourself, what do you really want? Of course, at first, a lot of people might think of money, wealth, fame, and luxury. And hey, I'm sure those things can be pretty nice, but will they buy you happiness? I guess that depends on you and what you do with it. I found in my experiences that beyond all of those things, what people really want is to be accepted, appreciated, and loved. By genuinely giving to others, you will in turn receive that back, and the bonds that connect you to everything around you will strengthen so much further. I want to bring up one more thing before we end this video. There was a scientist in Japan a few years back who made an incredible discovery. but one that even today is generally unacknowledged by the global scientific community. Many of us are familiar with the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto and his experiments freezing water into crystals, which would change their form depending on what emotions were meditated upon before freezing. Now, this experiment received a lot of scrutiny and several failed attempts to reproduce it. However, there is another version of it which is equally as moving. Emoto discovered that by putting words on the side of a jar of rice with water in it, and every day casting either love, hate, or unacknowledgement towards the jar, it would dramatically change the way that the rice fermented. This experiment has been performed around the world and is easily replicatable by anyone, even you. And I super encourage anyone who's interested to look up the experiment and give it a try. And for those who have trouble replicating the experiment, we might find more information with Dr. Radden's presentation, who says that there was a very clear difference in the results between practiced meditators and people whose minds tend to wander. Having a strong mental and emotional resonance will affect the outcome of the experiment significantly. If thoughts and feelings can do this to organic matter, just imagine what they can do to us. Well, looks like we're about done for the day. But before I go, I want to leave you with words to be with for anyone looking for direction in their lives right now. You can have, do, or be anything you want. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Thank you everyone once again for watching this whole video through.
Hello. Hope you enjoyed that little video. That was spirit science. I discovered that about 11 years ago, and man, I was so grateful for it. That was 2012, and at that time, it was not easy to find that kind of information. So I'm not sure if I agree with everything that's on the Spirit Science website or YouTube channel, but he's on to a lot of great stuff there, and it's a good place to start and learn things and ask questions. So, anyways, welcome to my channel. Let me turn on the chat for you. This might take me a few minutes, so bear with me. I got to figure out how to do it again. I'm coming over here to my studio and then content, live, and this one here. So gotta move this where I can see it. Okay. Bear with me for a moment here, folks, while I turn on the comments and I can take your questions. Live chat. There we go. Save. All right. So we should have chat now. Let me see if I can find it. I think I have to restart. Mhm. Okay, I don't see it yet. Oh, there's probably a little bit of a delay. So, welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. I'm feeling great. Um, I had gone, I get on these roller coaster rides where I'm really up, like, and really happy, and then I get down into these troughs, and it's not really because of anything going on in my life. It's just feels like the energy is that way. And back around the 23rd of October, I seem to get hit by a big burst of positive energy, and that's been sticking with me. Um, so thank you guys. I appreciate all of you. The 98% of you who are beautiful souls, and the 2% of you who are hateful trolls. I appreciate you too, to the hateful trolls, because you provide contrast. So thank you. I still don't see the chat. Give me a minute. I think there's a bit of a delay. Fine. I know I turned it on. Can Stacy, if you're watching, could you send me a message in Telegram? Let me know if my chat is working yet. Maybe it's just on delay for me because this isn't going to work if I don't have my live chat working. Still don't see it. So how are you guys doing? I know I shouldn't ask a question since you can't answer, since I can't read your chat yet. Oh, I put a link to this Zoom in the description. So it says, okay, Stacy says chat's live. I'm not seeing it yet. Maybe if I restart this again. And so yeah, like I said, there's a link to this Zoom meeting. So if you want to come in and ask me a question personally, and we can do like a back and forth, that's fine. You don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to. Yeah, I need to. I restarted it one time. Let me see if I can do it again. Hmm. Okay, I see the chat now. Okay. All right, there we go. Hi, Lacey Blue. Hi, Stacy. Hi, guys. What did you think about that video I just played? Have you ever heard of spirit science before? Some really good stuff in there. He's got a lot of videos out. Hello, Simon. I'll be seeing you soon. I think tomorrow. And oh, okay. I have an important announcement. This is October, and on the 20th, it's my birthday. But it's also the second anniversary of me buying my very first tarot card deck. At that time, I had been without out of work for a while. Hi, I see you, Cecilia. I'll let you in just a minute. Um, I I was in really desperate trouble. I was living off handouts and money from my family, and I didn't see any end in sight to that because I would not get the thing in the arm, and I couldn't teach anymore. I was teaching. I was earning about $300 a month, and then it dawned on me uh, around my birthday 2 years ago, which happened to be a full moon on my birthday. So I went out and bought my first deck of tarot cards, and a few months later, I was doing well thanks to the people who helped me out. Tracy Bryant was one, and but especially Janine Morjo when she first talked about me. That gave me my start. So to celebrate the anniversary of my newfound life as a tarot card reader, I'm offering you a discount for the month of October. Only the first, I can only take the first 20 people who email me and ask for this discount. Normally, my fee now is $75, and I'm going to knock off $10 to $65, which actually is only $60 for me because I use Buy Me a Coffee. That's the only way I can get paid. I don't have PayPal or Venmo or any of these others. And they take $5 off the top. So you pay $65, I get $60, and but you save $10. So I'm only going to take 20, the first 20 people who want this discount. Okay. Um, so Cherie, hi Cherie, thank you for being here. And So hit me with your questions. We got 34 people out there in the chat right now, and you some of you must have something on your mind, whether it's a loved one who passed away, or a new job, or a family member who maybe you're having some difficulties with. Um, and you don't have to pay me for this. If you would like to make a donation to this channel, super chats are okay, or you can buy me a coffee. Those links are in the description. Or now, last time I was on here, oh, what happened to Cecilia? I was gonna let you in, Cecilia. I just was had to talk about some stuff. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah. Okay, so I see Lacey's got a question here. My daughter is having a baby in April. Can you tell me the gender? Well, we don't. Yeah, you mean like a boy or a girl? Can I do that? I'll try. Um, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna pull one card and see what that tells me. Now, they have these machines that use hypersonic sound, ultrasonic sound that can do that. But let's see. I'm going to pull the first card. I just cut the deck. Let's see if this will tell us. Boy, I don't know. You're gonna have to come back and tell us if this was correct. Um, but I got a 50-50 chance of being right because there aren't all these other genders like they tell us there are. Let's see. Thank you for that, Lacey. Uh, yep, and you can book a reading with me by emailing me. And like I said, I'm all this month. The first 20 people who book a reading with me will get a $10 discount. Okay, and she's traveling to Texas. Will it go well? All right, now that's something I can do a spread on. Okay, this is for Lacey Blue. Your daughter's traveling to Texas. Let's see how that trip's going to turn out for her. Okay. Okay, this is for Lacey Blue's daughter's trip to Texas. When is that? I guess it's coming up soon. So let's see. This is your daughter's. Oh, an ace of pentacles. Did she get some money recently? Oh, and this is a mother who's you know with child in her case. A challenge card. The outcome. Oh, disappointment. So whatever she's traveling for there, if it's like a holiday or something like that, she's gonna end up having some disappointment about it. Um, Disappointment for because of what? I don't know. There might be some like debating. I mean, this could be something like she wants to do one thing and somebody else wants to do another thing, and so they end up uh, having a disagreement about that. But the good news is, it looks like the travel itself will be fine. So, in other words, no car problems or travel problems or things like that. Um, hmm. But what's this card? This is a another country. She's going to Texas. Hmm. I wonder if she's going to be near the Texas border. But anyway, Lucy, no major problems, just maybe some maybe it doesn't turn out exactly how she envisioned it. Okay. All right. So let's see. With children, okay, well, maybe that's what that Seven of Swords was. Okay, Sharice says, I've been chatting with a man online. Is he for real or pulling my leg? Okay. He is fun to chat with, but don't think he is telling me the truth of who he is and what he does. Well, that's a shock. That'd be a shocker. Somebody on the internet lying about who they are and what they do. I used to love watching that show, Catfish. Just amazed me how that stuff got pulled off. Sure, Shiri. Take a look at that. By the way, I want to thank you, Shiri, for the all the support that you've given me. I know that you're one of the OG viewers out there. Okay, so who is this guy that you're chatting with? You never mentioned him to me when we talked. Was it somebody that you've just met recently? Let's take a look. Okay, that's you. That's him. Interesting. He's coming up as a page of cups. So when an adult gets the page of cups, it one thing it says is like this is someone who's maybe emotionally immature. Okay, so that could cause some problems if you're looking at trying to start a relationship. I don't get any deception here. I wouldn't say that he's lying to you. Um, got this Seven of Cups in the past. Uh, he may have some confusion about who he is. That's what causes this um, emotional immaturity. Maybe he's someone who hasn't been able to develop properly on an emotional level because of their confusion about who they are, or they're someone who doesn't really know himself, I'd say. Um, And I'd say that you have any concerns about him that you may have, like that he's trying to scam you or catfish you. I don't think that's something that you need to worry about. This card says, "Don't worry, your darkest fears will not come true." Um, Death. Now, death is a long, slow transition into a better place. Nine of Wands. So, he, I don't know. I would have to take a closer look at this. Maybe next time you and I talk, we can look at this. I'm thinking that maybe he will be more trouble than he's worth with this Nine of Wands because of this emotional maturity. That makes sense, actually. That this is somebody who he would require a lot of work, a lot of maintenance. Let's put it that way, and it would take a long time for him to get through that. Or on the other hand, maybe you could help him with that. But I'm not sure this is the type of person you would want to consider for a long-term relationship. Okay. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Stacy. Um, Uh, did uh did your daughter have a good time? Did she meet a boy or fall in love. Let's see, Gigi, will your son be okay? I'll book a reading. He is in a flight he is a flight medic and has lost everything. This sounds familiar. Did we do a reading on this last week? What's wrong? Why is my hold on a second. I've lost I've lost internet connection on my phone. Am I still on here? Yeah. All of a sudden my phone lost internet. Strange. Okay, Gigi, I'm gonna take a look at your son. I remember, it seems like I talked to you about this at some point. Like, he was in a relationship or a divorce or something and he lost everything. But let me just do like a wellness check, Gigi, on your son, the flight medic who lost everything, and see if see how he's doing before I start. Let me shuffle a little bit. For some reason I'm unable to see the chat right now because my phone lost internet connection, which is really strange. Let me try again. Is it back? Okay, it's okay. But we're still on the air, right? Oh, there it is. Got it back. Okay. I don't know why my phone did that, but this is for Gigi's son. I'm going to do what I call a wellness check. So we're going to be checking all areas of his life and any concerns that a mother should know. I'm going to ask the universe to show me here. Eight of Cups, Page of Swords, King of Wands, Eight of Swords, the World. Oh, that's good. Everything he lost, he will get back again 3 times. Kind of like the story of Job. So, yeah, here he is kind of feeling lost in the wilderness a little bit. Um, he's seeking what is lost, as in with this Eight of Cups. There's a cup missing here. And he kind of got knocked down, and he's starting over again, right? So pages are new beginnings. So he went from feeling like the king of the world to getting knocked down to a lowly page and having to start all over again. The good news is here, Gigi, is the world. When we lose everything, then we can start again. World has our endings and beginnings, and I believe that he has people that will support him in this. So it's like he's got a community or something, or he will have, and that's going to put him on a new path towards. Like I said, he's going to get back everything that he lost and more. Okay, so there's no worries for your son, Gigi. He's going to be okay. He's resilient. All right, and I'm sure he's still a young man, and he's got plenty of time to get his life back on track. Okay. All right. I just heard my phone chirping. What was that? Oh, that was Sherry Smith. Let me check on that. She bought me 5 coffees. Thank you. 5. That's very generous. Let me see if she has a question for me with that. Sherry says, Mom recently passed on September 8th. I'm very sorry for your loss. Uh, which she passed on September 8th, which totals 17. I guess, yeah, 9 and 8, 17. Dad passed away on the same date, 17 years prior. Wow. Your father passed and 17 years ago, and then your mother passed on the same day. Mom and dad married on the 17th, mom's birthday on the 17th, and mine as well. Is there a significance? Wow. So yeah, that's a lot of 17s. And so for I think most of you know the significance of the number 17. It's the number of Q in the alphabet. Q is numerologically 17. And also, it's the number of God. Um, there's a way you can do numerology with with that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it 17 equates to God. So, but let me see how this is tied to you, your mother and father, if at all. I'm not sure if I, if I don't make sense of this, then I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to just BS you about, you know, tell you something I think you want to hear. That's interesting, isn't it? And so I know the first thing we want to do is think the devil is something dark and evil, but that's not always the meaning. And in this case, what it's telling me is past life connections. And there's three. So the three of you, your mother, and your father are linked in past life renewal. So you're each coming back uh, in the same life. In a group. Okay. Um, and if you're wondering how did I get that from the devil's about attachments. Your souls are attached to each other karmically. Um, 7. This is a 7, and let's see. Now comes the page. So I think that this is like I said, there's a karmic attachment here. I'm thinking maybe you'll go through 7 of these incarnations. I don't know why. I'm with that 7 there. And at that point, I think then you'll each be able to finish that karmic um, exploration or that karmic connection that you have. And then at that point, maybe start something new. Okay. So, so I think for sure the three of you are karmically intertwined. Okay. All righty then. Let me go back to questions. Time. Got another 20 minutes here. And thank you very much for that, Sherry Smith. Thank you very much for the coffees. I appreciate that. Um, if you have a follow-up question, Sherry, put it in the chat and I'll I'll do it. No extra charge. No extra fee needed. Okay. Vivian, the name that means life. Oh, I'm sorry, Viviana. Hi, Viviana. I've met you before in a private meeting. Hi, Scott. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic. The past week has just been great. I feel so buoyant. It felt like there was a shift on the 23rd or the 24th of last month. Did any of you notice that? I think a lot of people did. So something changed at that time. So hopefully I don't hit another trough. Oh, somebody just sent me a recording from by Alex Collier today. I don't know how recent this is. I don't know how true it is, but he said the National Guard's moving into the United States now. Anybody heard about that? Let me know in the chat. So Viviana has had a difficult year, but I would like to ask about the Dinar RV. There's a lot that has been happening. I'd like to know if it will happen this year. Viviana, I wish you wouldn't paid so much money for this question because I I think I could answer it without the cards, but I mean I'm going to do you the honor of reading the cards on it. I think it is happening. I think it's already happening. I get reports all the time from people about the money going through and everything. But let me do you the honor of not the honor, but pay you the respect since you sent me that very generous super chat. Thank you very much. About, in particular, about the dinar. Dinar. That's Iraqi money, right? I'm sometimes it's hard for me to answer these because I don't know a lot about how it works. There's something about the Iraqi dinar and the forex. Like it's going to show somebody said like when you see it trading on forex, that means it's happening or something like that. But with my ignorance and which kind of gives me a blank slate, which is kind of a good thing, I'm going to look at this and I think it's already happening. So I got a few cards in mind that should appear for that. Two of Cups, Knight of Cups, Temperance. See, Temperance in the past, it's all done. Everything's done in the past. Uh, wow, a lot of cups. Um, and Six of Cups. This is to benefit all of mankind. Seven of Wands. It's already done, Viviana. It's we're just waiting for the old system to crash before the new system can rise up, or rise from the ashes like a phoenix, so to speak. And at that time, you're going to start seeing all of this money pouring out to benefit mankind. So, and I would say that you're definitely going to be a partner in this with this Two of Cups. Okay, but this temperance, this combining of things and to make something new, that's already been done. It's already happening. It's just a matter of waiting for the financial system now to crash, and then they're going to have all these benefits come out of this for mankind. Okay. Um, I very much appreciate you. And we have Linnea wants to come in real quick. Let me just, uh, Gigi, thank you for the sticker. Make sure. Okay, I'm gonna let Linnea and say hello. I don't know who this is, so this is live. I hope this is not a troll. Hello, Linnea Bennett. How are you? Connect your audio. Waiting for you to connect your audio. You're live on YouTube, so be careful that you don't say anything that could get me in trouble, okay? Mm-hmm. Hey, Bowling Green. I lived in Bowling Green for a short time. Let's see, two people are entering the waiting room. Okay, there's people in the You're muted. I didn't see the waiting room. I'm sorry for those who are waiting. Let's see, waiting room. Mohammed and somebody else was. I'm gonna. You guys in the waiting room. Hold on. I'll bring you in one by one. Linnea, you're muted. If you can't unmute, then I'm gonna have to kick you out. Sorry. And I'll bring somebody else in who would like to ask a question. Okay, Linnea, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to escort you out. Let's see. Where's remove? I'm sorry about that. Try again next time. And don't report. And who is this? Mohammed. Mohammed, would you like to come in and say hello? Mohammed is connecting his audio, and I do not recognize this name, so I don't know what we're going to get here. This could be exciting. This is live. And you got to connect your audio, Mohammed. Come in and introduce yourself and ask a question if you have it. Let's see if I have any questions in there. You're very welcome, Viviana. Oh, thank you. I don't feel like I'm the best, but I definitely try my best. Mm, Mohammed, you having some trouble with your audio there? All right, Mohammed, I'm gonna have to ask you to try again later when you can get removed. Okay, sorry, Mohammed. It's taken too long. We're live, so we need to keep things rolling here. Hmm. Did I miss any questions? See, the state of bliss. Love that name. Question just asked the 17 question. Can you get a message from mom? Absolutely. I'd be happy to give it a try. Okay. So let's see. Oh yeah, your mom just passed away on the 8th. Yeah, let's see if your mom has a message for you. State of bliss. I apologize to the people who tried to join the chat. I can't, this is live and I can't wait. Oh, wow, look at that. Strength, 10 of cups. Ah, the hermit. She's now an ascended master. Okay, so whenever asking about someone who's passed away, and if I get a 10, that's talking about that. And see how this appears to be like a heavenly setting. She's sending you the message that she is in heaven, she is in the afterlife, and she's reunited with family. It's a place where, just more beautiful than you could possibly imagine. She has no regrets about her passing. I think she wants you to know that, at least not now, in the state of in the state of bliss that she's in the heavenly realms. Now that she can see things from a higher vantage point, she has no regrets about her passing. Um, I think with this Six of Pentacles in the past, that she did her best to make sure everybody got what was coming to them as far as like in her will. Okay. Um, she also now is in a place where she can see the whole picture. She's an ascended master, and from here she can bring guidance to you and to all her children. Um, but if you she's not the type of soul who's going to reach out and give you signs, though. Like my father did. My father did so many things from the other side. I mean, it was it was really remarkable, the signs and things that he did to let us know that he was okay. If you don't get any signs like that, uh, that's don't think like oh, mother, I expected you to send me some kind of signs. I mean, maybe I'm not saying that you won't, but don't feel like she's ignoring you or not reaching out from the other side if you don't. Okay, so but she is guiding you from from that vantage point that she has. Okay, she's sending you guidance, maybe maybe in the form of unconscious thoughts that you have. So if you have a thought that seems to come from nowhere and you don't know where it came from, it's coming from your mother. Okay. All right. Let me see. All right. Fine. W. Oh, you're gone. I was gonna. There's somebody else was waiting, and I was gonna let you in. None of the people who have wanted to join this chat are names that I recognize, so I'm wondering if maybe they were they didn't have the purest of intentions. Okay, let me back up the chat a little bit. Um, Cheryl in Bowling Green. Yeah, I lived there for a little bit. It's the only place I ever lived where the ground literally sucked. So, and what I mean by that, when it rained there, the ground is so porous. I swear you could hear like this. You could hear the water percolating down through the limestone. There's some really cool caves in that area too to go visit. I guess you have to pay. No, you don't have to pay, Susan. Um, Let me see if I can find your question. Susan. Susan, question. My brother passed away last Sunday. Does he have a message for me? No, you don't have to pay. Okay. Um, my vision's not good, and I'm dyslexic and a bunch of other things. So if I miss your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just because I didn't see it. Okay. So yeah, let me see if your brother has a message from you for you. Um, I'm sorry for your loss. Okay, so this is for Susan Chamberlain. Yeah, I don't want to. If I'm if it's towards the end of the month and I'm not reaching my goal, then I will specifically ask for donations for questions. But at the beginning of the month, I'm in the black, and I'm here to help you. Okay, so Susan Chamberlain. Did I get that right? Yeah. Sorry about your brother who passed away. Let me see if I can give a message from him. Was he was he a young man when he passed away? Like between 18 and 30? Oh, wow. And was it sudden? Was it like an accident or something? You notice we have an angel here as the outcome. Two of Cups. So it looks like this was a very sudden thing that he wasn't, or he just wasn't prepared for it. Um, see, Knight of Cups. He does have a message for you, though. Um, what was your name again? Sorry, Susan. He does have a message for you. He wants you to follow your heart. Um, when it comes to like how you should live your life, don't live your life purely for others. In other words, um, you you know, I think that you're the type of person who wants to help others, but it's also important for you to follow your own path. What makes you happy, not just living for others to make them happy. Your brother is always with you, okay? And he is also in a place where he's looking over you. Not so much like not like the last one where that person was an ascended master who was guiding. He's more like protective. He's protective over you. He wants you to know that he's got his wings, so to speak. I think um, temperance and this is a time. So he passed away recently. This is a time of debriefed by the pure spirit from which we all come. Um, he's it's collating all of the karmic things that he did in his life, and things that got accomplished, things that didn't get accomplished, um, and so that's what happens. I when you pass away, you go through this debriefing period where you reunite with your higher self, and you combine all the things that you learned from that life with previous lives, and then you fit them all together. Okay, so that's like he's in the process of doing that right now. Okay, so it's now 11:30 in the US, and I'm gonna have to end it there. If I didn't get to your question, I'm very sorry. Try again next time. I'm going to try to do these more often, and you know, it all depends on my how I'm feeling that day. If I have a client in the morning, of course I can't do this, um, but I want to come to you more often and bring you um, videos like the one that I showed earlier in this, and answer as many questions of yours as I can. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Um, I appreciate you. I want you to know that. Even if you're a troll and you hate me, I appreciate you for your contrast. All right, so let me come over to my YouTube channel, hit the end stream button. I'll say good night, everybody. Have a wonderful week. And October, I think October is going to be a great month. And my internet's lagging here. All right, there it is. All right, I'm going to say goodbye right now. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.